Well, the world's oldest, the largest hyperscaler in the world, Amazon Web Services, throwing the gauntlet to its competitors, the likes of Microsoft and Google, through some big announcements that we saw today at their day one of their flagship summit, reInvent 2025. Now, the markets, the industry was watching very carefully. What were we watching out for? Well, there are four things that caught our attention. Number one, the chips race. Now, hyperscalers like AWS are not happy just being hyperscalers. They also want to enter the chips race. AWS entered this race back in 2018, and today they released the latest version, their most powerful homegrown chip called the Trainium 3, which they believe is exponentially more powerful than previous generations, and it couldn't have been more timely since Google has been flexing with what their chips can do, which they've shown with Gemini 3. Not just this is not the end of the road. Matt Carman, their CEO, the AWS CEO, said that there's lots more work under the wraps, that as far as the next generation is concerned of chips, that will be Trainium 4, which will be exponentially more powerful than this version. And this, importantly, is a statement of intent by AWS that they want to enter an ecosystem which is on lockdown by NVIDIA, courtesy its powerful GPUs. That was one. The second, as far as the LLM race is concerned, this is clearly heating up. With Gemini being released by Google, we've seen the GPT versions released by OpenAI. Today, AWS released its Nova 2 generation of LLMs, which they say is significantly more powerful, can achieve higher benchmarks than even the likes of OpenAI as well as Google. And number three, data sovereignty impacts. A lot of countries are asking for their companies to store data locally, and AWS's solution is what they call AI factories, where they move entire server racks to the location of the customer companies to meet any data sovereignty mandates. And finally, as far as AI agents is concerned, AWS releasing what they call our frontier agents, which can compress timelines for tasks which ordinarily would have taken months, and that this is something which can be done by AI agents working round the clock for days and weeks on end. So that's a quick wrap of four highlights that caught our attention. We're coming to you from Amazon Web Services flagship summit called reInvent 2025. I have with me Mr. Praveen Sridhar. He's the head of the partner business at AWS India and South Asia. Mr. Sridhar, thank you so much for joining us, being a part of this conversation. First, AWS, the one message that keeps traveling from the company to us is that you're a customer-oriented company. When you talk about that, that puts you front and center for the India-South Asia geography. Tell us what it is. In this current context of when we're talking about Gen AI, we're talking about agentic AI, what those conversations are like when you have it with the partners, potential partners as well.
Thank you, and Ashmit, first and foremost, welcome to Vegas. Welcome to our flagship event, as you called it, reInvent 2025. We are very excited to be present over here with all the innovation and the announcements that are coming in. From my perspective, I work along with partners and customers in ensuring that they get the best of technology delivered to them through the AWS services. We have been servicing customers in India for over 9 years since the launch of our Mumbai region in 2016. Okay. We even have the Hyderabad region, which was launched recently. Overall, we have made investments in the tune of $12.7 billion going into 2030 for our customers to innovate and work upon.
Let's talk about one of the recent launches that we've seen with respect to AWS Marketplace. There you've provided solutions where vendors can provide solutions in the local currency, which is INR. You, at the time of announcement, was said that this will allow for not adjusting for Forex situations. It allows for tax savings as well. Just give us clarity with this new solution being onboarded. What is the rate of adoption like?
The India AWS Marketplace that we actually launched in the first week of November has been an ask from our customers and partners for a long period of time. At a global level, we have the AWS Marketplace. Over 30,000 of our partners have their listings on the marketplace. We actually have over 70 categories of listings, all the way from security to storage to networking to business application solutions that are provided. Now, customers and partners in India were asking for that kind of an experience to be available in an India context. And what I mean by that is having the ability to transact in local currency, which is INR. Now, this is very, very important because a number of our customers and partners, especially who service financial services or in SMB, they do not want to actually, or sometimes they do not even have access to the USD dollar to do the transaction, so they wanted it in INR. and we are happy to have it launched in India. We are seeing tremendous amount of uptake. At the time of launch itself, we had 37 partners signing up to be launch partners with us. This included companies which are building software out of India, like Freshworks, like Core.ai, like Gupshup, and we had global companies such as Cisco, Salesforce, all of them coming over and launching their solutions on the marketplace.
Speaking of fear of missing out, there are also questions being raised on the other side of the spectrum, which basically which pose the query that is there sufficient ROI as a part of these IT spends on Gen AI? So the question that I want to ask you is that are the investments that you're seeing, that your partners are putting in, is that substantiated by an uptick in revenue or an uptick in savings on account of the IT spends that they're making as far as Gen AI is concerned?
So AI is that kind of a technology which we see once in a generation or once in a lifetime, right? I mean, we are obviously seeing, like you actually mentioned, the palpable excitement of what AI can deliver in terms of business outcomes is there. We are actually seeing both partners and customers innovate on this. We have our new solution, Kiro, which is our IDE environment for building agents and building codes. And this is actually adopted by over 250,000 users in a record period of time. So these kind of technologies, the kind of what I call as organic adoption that we are beginning to see, makes us and we get to see that this is mainly happening because they are seeing business outcomes come out of it.
Operating in a tough market like India, where there are options available, where you're competing with other hyperscalers as well, the question that I had in mind is that what does that do to your conversation when you're looking at it in terms of margins, in terms of revenues, in terms of pricing, essentially, that you have to offer to these customers?
You actually started the conversation by saying AWS is customer oriented, but we are actually customer obsessed. So everything that we do, we obsess over our customers. A lot of the feedback comes from our customers. And as long as we are hearing to that feedback and innovating, we have always found that customers adopt those solutions. So coming back to your point, in India, we heard that feedback.
There are various regulatory moves made by various countries on data localization and data sovereignty. We've seen some recent moves here in India as well, where we recently had the new DPDP rules as well. What are your conversations like with the partners? Is there some sense of uncertainty or a sense of challenge that they fear on account of data localization, data sovereignty demands by the governments? And if yes, what is the solution to that?
We continue to work with, not just in India, but across the world. AWS continues to work with governments, regulatory agencies. We believe clarity around these regulations and frameworks only help the community out there adopt cloud and AI much better. And from our perspective, we have always maintained the stance that any regulatory frameworks that come in, we are going to be adhering to it and working with them.
And I know I said final question, but I'll just, I can't help but ask you, we're towards the end of 2025. As we begin 2026, what's the top of the agenda for you when you look at the India-South Asia market?
Get Marketplace adopted. So like I actually said, Marketplace was in the ask by our customers and partners for a long period of time. It took a certain degree of innovation on our side to make it, to launch it in India. And like I said, just the fact that we had 37 partners at the launch of it, listing their solutions already, gives me a tremendous amount of hope that the best of innovation that's happening is now going to be available for our Indian customers a lot faster.
Well, we wish you the very best for 2026, and thank you so much once again for hosting us here.
Hello and welcome to the special show where we take you inside VinFast's big India game plan, not just the cars you have just already seen in the market, but the larger Vietnam to India strategy the company is now accelerating. From electric SUVs to micro-mobility and even hospitals, universities and real estate, Vin Group says India is the next multi-sector frontier. We began by speaking exclusively with VinFast Asia's CEO about what the company wants to build in India. Here is that conversation. VinFast, Vietnam's homegrown EV manufacturer, is accelerating plans for India at a time when the electric mobility landscape is witnessing strong growth momentum. The company has already entered the Indian market, launching the VF6 and VF7 SUVs, and is now preparing for one of its most aggressive international expansion projects. I'm here in Vietnam and I'm going to tell you about the global and India-specific plans of the biggest automaker of Vietnam, that is VinFast. And to tell us more about that, we have a very special guest.
Hello, I'm here to assist. What can I do for you today?
And that guest is not this futuristic robot, but the Asia CEO of VinFast. Mr. Chow, thank you so much for joining us here on CNBC-TV18. It's a pleasure to meet you.
Likewise.
Let me begin by asking you, it's been some time now that VinFast has entered the Indian market. How has been the experience so far?
The experience is fantastic. We are very happy about the response of the market of India.
While the company has just begun sales in India, they have earmarked up to 16,000 crore rupees in India. This indicates their ambition to compete in India's electric vehicle market. Next, VinFast plans to introduce the 7-seater Limo Green, a family-focused electric SUV that has already seen strong success in Vietnam. The company believes this model could redefine the mid to premium EV segment in India.
Next car will be the 7-seater Limo Green, and I think that is an explosion in the market. And I believe that that will give a lot of satisfactions to the customers. And because it's 7 seaters, it's family car, but more importantly, we have learned the lessons, the good lesson of the success story of selling this model in Vietnam. So we are going to launch both in Indonesia and in India.
While premium products are a part of the brand strategy, India's price-sensitive consumer base is impossible to ignore. VinFast says its approach will be premium quality at accessible pricing.
It's a very challenging exercise in order to be able to balance the demand to make VinFast a premium car maker, but at the same time to boost sales. You can only boost sales if you sell lower segment cars, and then we try to reconcile that to demand. But I'm sure that when we sell the lower segment cars like VF5, VF3, we make sure that the quality as good as the premium car.
VinFast plans to unleash nearly all of the company's EVs in India over the next few years, making India one of its largest and most diverse investments.
We have a very ambitious plan. If you calculate 3 years, it's about 6 models is going to be launched in Indian markets. So I think that is not the full bouquet yet, but perhaps it's the half of the bouquet because we continue to develop new models.
But the company's vision goes far beyond electric cars.
The full ecosystem with VinFast is composed of the network development, the network of network dealer, and the network of repair shops and workshops, the network of charging, the variety of models, not only 4-wheelers, but also 2-wheelers, also e-buses, but also electrical bicycles.
One important part of the ecosystem is the 2-wheeler market, a segment dominated by India's legacy players and startups like Ather and Ola.
For 2-wheelers, we realize the challenge is huge because of the legacy of the OEM, traditional, conventional, and very Indian. But I think that we can bring some new model, and given our strong technology, I think that we can have share with you a number of unique selling points at the moment we launch our 2-wheeler vehicles.
Why this level of commitment for India, but? For VinFast, the answer is clear. The company doesn't see India as just another market, but as a central pillar in its long-term global strategy.
I believe that India stands as the key player, if not the most important, but is the top important destination because of various factors. Number one, India is a big player with the most populous country in the world, but more importantly, India is an emerging economy. And the leader of India, both at the union level as well as at the state level, they are very dynamic. They are very eager to invite us. They are giving us full support. So that is the reasons why we consider India as our key destination for our investment, not only for VinFast, in order to build a green mobility ecosystem, but also to build the whole ecosystem of Vingroup which is a success story in Vietnam.
Clearly, the Vietnamese electric vehicle maker has a long-term vision for the Indian automobile sector. It wants the right to win by stabilizing a full ecosystem, which includes cars, two-wheelers, buses, taxis, and charging networks. And that's VinFast's India blueprint straight from the top leadership. A full ecosystem play, not just an EV launch calendar. But the story doesn't end there. We also went inside the company's massive factory in Vietnam to look at the vehicles VinFast believes could fit the Indian market in the coming years. These aren't announced yet, but they show where the brand may be headed. Take a look. This is Vietnamese EV giant VinFast's factory in Hai Phong. It's massive, highly automated complex with a capacity of up to 9.5 lakh vehicles annually. And it's where VinFast's flagship electric vehicles, including the VF6, VF7 and VF9 were born. CNBC-TV18 got exclusive access to some of the vehicles that could be headed to India soon. Now, VinFast has already launched the VF6 and VF7 in India, but there's one car that India really is anticipating, and that is this VF9. This is a full 5.1 meter SUV, and this is one of the most anticipated cars in Indian market from the bouquet of cars of VinFast. This is a 3-row flagship EV with a bold muscular stance, a sweeping LED signature, and a cabin built around minimalism and tech. The VF9 is powered by dual motors, comes with the 400 horsepower and delivers a range upwards of 500 kilometers, depending on the battery pack. Its highlight is space, wide seating and a panoramic sunroof. It also boasts a premium infotainment setup and ADAS-packed driving assistance. While its India launch is confirmed, VinFast says it is not in a hurry just yet.
Next car will be the 7-seater limo green, and I think that is an explosion in the market.
A compact urban electric mobility solution designed for short distance travel, shared mobility and last mile efficiency. The limo green features a minimalist exterior, smooth lines and a modern EV profile built to maximize cabin room in a compact footprint. Inside, it adopts a clean dashboard, digital instrumentation and a layout optimized for fleet use. But VinFast's ambitions don't stop at mass mobility. Which car do you think this is? Is this the Rolls-Royce or the Lamborghini? None of the above. This is the VinFast Lakhong 900 LX, and look at it, it's stunning. It is considered to be the Rolls-Royce of Vietnam, and it is not just for regular use, it is a special edition which is also used by the heads of states. This is an EV that is an armored EV, and let me go this side and show you the design language of this beautiful car. It's absolutely luxurious and also very functional as well. Let me tell you a little bit about this. This is not just a luxury EV, but a full-on mobile fortress. Built on the foundation of the VF9 platform and engineered in collaboration with global armored vehicle specialist Incas, the Lakhong 900 LX is certified to meet the stringent international VPAM VR7 standard. This means it can withstand rifle fire, armor piercing, and even blast-level attacks, a level of security typically reserved for heads of states and high-risk VIP transport. With the VF7 forming the base, the VF9 waiting on the horizon, and the limo green gearing up for the India debut in 2026, VinFast is laying out a full-spectrum EV strategy for the subcontinent. One that will see it play at the entire range of segments, from premium SUVs to everyday urban mobility, and one that it hopes will give incumbent brands a run for their money in one of the world's fastest-growing EV markets. That's all we have for you today in this special show. Thank you for watching.